Christian parenting.
Well, welcome to Pardon the Mess. I'm your host, Courtney DeFeo. Hello, people. It's December, a few days away. I have to tell you that my neighbor has the greatest lights. Like, she has little kids. I'm like, man, and my kids were little. Actually, we still love it. But one of the signs in her yard says like countdown to Christmas. And so every day I drive by it, it's another reminder that there's a countdown on. So I'm trying not to be that person, but there's a countdown on. And you know what? At this point, it's like, throw some stickers in the bag, give them a little gift card. I mean, they don't have to get everything they've ever wanted, but I know the desire as a mom is to make it magical. And so just kind of alleviate some of that stress and, just do the best you can and not stress yourself out. So before we get to today's awesome guest, I want to remind you that we are a nonprofit. And this is that point in the podcast where I ask you for money, which is the worst. Do you ever go to a church service and you bring someone and they're like, oh my gosh, they're asking for money this week, which they have to. It's a church and they function on donations and tithing from its members. So we're a nonprofit and I have to make the ask. So did you know that Pardon the Mess is a part of the Christian Parenting Podcast Network? It's got over 30 podcasts. And beyond that, Christian Parenting has got so many resources that help parents, and it gives them faith-based resources and products, just like our prayer journal, that we all love to use as parents. And it's got a worldwide mission over at Christian Parenting, which I love it, and I'm so glad I'm a part of it. But the mission is to help parents all around the world grow into the perfectly imperfect parents God created them to be. And together, we want to confidently raise the next generation of culture-changing Christians. So if you've loved this podcast and it's benefited your life, would you consider giving to us this year as a part of your year-end giving? We're seeking to raise over $23,000 by December 31st so that we can continue to produce this podcast and many more and reach even more parents in 2025. So give your best gift by December 31st at cpgive.org. Every gift matters. cpgive.org. Thank you guys so much. So moving on to today's guest, I think a lot about December, thinking like, I don't want to add more stress. Are people even listening? And so last year during the Christmas time, I had on a bunch of my real life friends to talk about just simple stuff from like what we're loving to makeup to clothes, and felt like it would be more lighthearted if you're running errands and you're in the grocery store or you're on a walk. I didn't want to give you big topics that you're like, great, another main thing I forgot to teach my kids or another thing I'm bad at. So today, just enjoy the banter of two friends. Dana is a dear friend of mine. We go way back. We share the story. She lives in Birmingham. She has two amazing kids that I adore, Claire and Wells, and a husband that feels like a brother to me. And so we talk about everything from, perimenopause to bras, to the stitch gun, to her favorite gift this season. So lots of little bitty ideas. And then make sure you get to the end because you'll hear from Dana, who's been through so much. Her family has had a long road with a health journey for her husband. And so listen to her at the end. She shares some intangible things like community and your faith and things that will help get you through. We start with like, I think the stitch gun could change your life or this candle thing. But then we get serious at the end and really try to encourage you about the things that really matter and that will carry you through in the hardest seasons of your life. So Merry Christmas if I don't see you or talk to you. And I just appreciate you guys being a part of Pardon the Mess. Enjoy Dana and lots of giggling.
By the way, I don't usually wear these, and they look so dumb.
What do you mean? Welcome to Pardon the Mess, Dana.
Well, I'm so happy to be here, Court. You ready for me and my obnoxious laugh? And
your laugh makes me laugh. I even right before I clicked to see your face, I was already laughing. Like, I love you so much. Guys, someone said to me, people got to get to know us. And I was like, they loved last year. I had some of my real life friends. And I'm like, y'all got to know Dana is what the situation is. And we think we're hilarious.
We think we're really funny. I told Chris and he said, so what are you going to talk about? And I was like, well, she reminded me this morning. She asked me what she sent me. And so I had to remind her. So basically we're going to banter. He's like, did they know? She knows how much you talk, but do her friends know how much you talk? Do other people know how much you talk? Do they know you set the record for storytellers? I was like, I did remind Courtney of that.
Yes.
So people need
Dana's
to know.
Sister, Robin, who I love. Hey, Robin. She already texted me this morning, like This is going to be good. But they have an amazing podcast called Storytellers that I've been on. And so we should do another episode because Dana's story, I've actually talked about you quite a bit without saying your name about just the journey that your family's been on. And so you have a lot to share spiritually. You have a lot to help parents with. You are the kids director at Mountain Brook Community Church. So
I am. Check my pictures in the back.
That's
I
right.
am. I don't know how much I have to share. I don't know how much wisdom I have, but I try.
You have a lot. And so I'm going to post that episode of when you did talk and broke the record on Storytellers for 15 minutes. Share that. And then I'm going to have you back because I really do think people need to learn from you. But today it's like December. Nobody can put a foot in front of the other. Like nobody has time to process parenting. Like we just need to talk about all the things.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I mean, I think I'm ready. I hope I'm ready. Edit out whatever you need to edit out. You just get it out of here.
Okay, guys, I don't have an agenda other than we're just going to banter. But Chris is the only guy that's allowed to listen to this or just pause for a second because we were talking bras. Like all that to say, I'm not ready for this. I was like asking her, can you see what's going on over here? And
I can't see. It's fine to me. But if I did the same thing, I would just be here.
Yeah, it's amazing. Here. Okay, so you're probably not on TikTok like a sane person, but somehow
I didn't get on TikTok. I never have it with the bullet. In fact, some of the ones you send me, I can't open because I'm just like, don't do it. But I will look on my
because it like has sucked years out of my life. So that's one of my 2025 goals. But I will tell you, this old TikTok shop, they're like, you got to get the minimizer bra. And I don't know if they're like seeing me through the thing and we're like, we need to minimize those.
I have them. I don't know if I have the one TikTok because I'm not on there, but I have a real good Soma one I keep reordering every year and chunking when it's time.
Okay. So I thought maybe they're right, but I don't love, like I don't want to do TikTok shop for some reason. So then I go over to Amazon and I search minimizer bra, and I don't even know what size I am. Like a friend of mine, Terry, said, like, did you get a boob job? I'm like, no, I've gained like 50 pounds, you jerk. So I ordered one. It came in, and do you remember being in the store when you're little and looking at like old ladies' bras and being like,
how is it that big?
How? Like, who has boobs that big? So I get one in the mail from Amazon, and Ella's like, whoa, like what size did you order? I kid you not, Dana Sheheane. I go in to try that on. Can't buckle it. You couldn't buckle it? Did it look this big when you were about to put it on? Like the front was good. I didn't realize my girth. I have more girth.
Okay, go to Soma. So when I went to Soma, I said, I just feel like up here, A, needs to be lifted a lot. It's about a foot lower than it should be. Also, I said, I need somehow to not let this part of my body look like I'm on top over when I'm walking because I'm short.
Right.
And when you got this up here, and she was like, let me help you. I thought I was smaller in the girth too, Courtney. I was not.
But here's the thing, like everything's uncomfortable. I don't want to underwire. So I'll do a sports bra and then I look like there's a whole mountain happening up top.
And it's just one big size across the top.
Yeah. No, y'all, this was not on the agenda. This was not on the agenda. Okay, speaking of your height, so let's back up. Let's tell the good folks how we know each other. Not that they care, but I think it's kind of a fun story. Do you want to tell it or me?
Sure. You start. I'll jump in. You tell how we.
So y'all know I'm obsessed with Lighthouse. I've taken my kids to serve there every summer for years and years. And so I think, was it our first year? Did we get you our first year?
I had already gone 1 year.
This was
Paul's first year. It was our second.
Okay. So on this mission trip that is domestic, our kids, it is amazing. But one of the so I feel funny saying this, but like one of the downsides is you all get paired in like these condos at the beach, which is like not roughing it. Like we're not on a blanket in the snow, but they're like, hey, you're going to like be in another condo with other people that are serving. And you're like, okay, cool. So we go in, it
is the most awkward part. It is. There's not awkwardness to Lighthouse, but
back up. We already knew we liked each other on Facebook. So tell them about that.
Oh gosh. Okay. So I don't think they do this anymore. A lot of the team leaders don't. And I think they need to bring it back. However, Facebook, they would say, introduce yourself, introduce your families, get to know each other on your team before you get there so that you're kind of getting cohesive before you get there. So everybody's introducing themselves and their kids, and nobody is commenting except Dana and Courtney. Hey, I have a daughter that's 7. It's going to be amazing. They're going to be BFFs. Hey, you look so cute. And you're going, I went to Auburn. I love Auburn. And I'm going, really? When did you live in Alabama? Like 1 month of your life? And so we're the only ones commenting on everybody's post.
Mm-hmm.
And then you chime in after about 4 weeks of us being the only ones to comment. You chime in and say, hey, extrovert. And that was it. Oh, she wrote. That's what she did. And then we became fast BFFs. And then I don't know if you remember, we showed up the very first day at the tent.
No.
And they had written on, I remember it so well because I was so excited to meet you. We hugged like we were long lost friends when we met.
That's right.
And they had a huge tablecloth out and they'd written with a crayon on it, your room number. And you had to go find your room number to see who you were living with for the week.
Good memory.
And we go and we're like, shut up. Stop it.
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? He did it.
He did it. Okay. So y'all, this is crazy. So my girls, do you have any idea how old the children were when this happened?
Okay. We just discussed this. We discussed it at dinner with y'all. I think it was 7 years ago.
Okay. So 7 years ago. So we get room together. We already know like this is going to work because we got things to chat about. We don't care if the kids get along, but we're going to be amazing. Yeah. So we go to the thing. We start chatting because my mom's from Birmingham. She lives in Birmingham. I love Birmingham. I went to Auburn, so half my friends live there. So we're chatting, and suddenly I said, you're like, well, where did your mom grow up? And I was like, Vestavia. And she's like, where? And I was like, I don't know, like their family's like Smyer Circle. Like, and you're like, wait, what? So then at that point, is that when you called your mom?
That's when I'm like, wait, my mom grew up on Vestavia Circle, right by Smyer Circle. My grandmother lived right there, and now she lives right there on Shades Crest. So that's when I called her. And she's like, oh my gosh, Mimi?
What were the name of those little girls you played with when you were growing up, right?
Yes, that's exactly what I said. And she named Mimi. She named
my mom. And we about fell out. We're like, we knew this was a match made in heaven. But isn't that crazy?
I mean, Courtney, you're in Texas. I'm in Birmingham. We just happened to get paired. It was the coolest. And then we couldn't go to sleep. And both our husbands were like pulling us in the doors. And our heads would stick out. And it's time to go to bed.
We were made to talk.
We would do it every night. We were made to talk.
And so since then, guys, like it's just been so sweet. We've been able to room together again. I've been able to come to speak at Mountain Brook Community. And you're one of those friends like I didn't know I needed. But even in the past year, like you're one of the first people I reach out to. Like I love you so much.
I love you so much. And your girls so much. And Ron, we're not leaving out Ron.
Oh, yeah.
I love Ron so much.
Ron's an every other year lighthouse guy, so he misses some of the fun. But
Chris too. But you're a staple. You're a staple. And now the girls.
Yeah,
let's talk about the girls.
Yeah, let's do. So we were in Birmingham one time, and it was a year ago. I think I was taking Ella to look at Sanford. And so we were staying at our favorite little hotel down in Homewood, and you had just finished your Thanksgiving dinner and just showed up in the lobby with like pecan pie.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
That's what you did.
So we were just sitting there, and was Larson not with us?
Larson had something she had to do, so it was just you and Ella.
Okay.
And then it was Claire.
Okay, so we were talking about friends, and this is a good note for everybody. So we were talking about just the age of middle school and going into high school, how tough friends are. And Ella said, you know what saved me is, and she probably didn't say it like that. Well, you probably said, Ella, how are you doing this? And she said, I have good friends outside of my school. Like I have somebody I can talk to about everything and I won't be gossiping and I can share my heart. And we looked at each other and we're like, this is what Claire and Larson need. They need each other. And they
already, that first year when we fell in love as best friends, so did our girls. They clicked. They're so much alike. They're so alike. And they loved each other, but we were like, we've got to somehow make this happen where what Ella has, Larson and Claire can have.
And that's hard to force that, but you say, we were both saying on either side, like, I know you both are struggling. Friendships are hard. Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if you had a person outside of your school and that you could kind of have a lifeline with? Because I don't think you get sick of somebody that lives far away, you know?
You don't. And you can love your people so well. You can love your friends so well, but just have that person outside that's not in the fray, that's not, you can vent or talk about what you want to talk about, and they're not in it with you. And so there's no competition there. There's no gossiping about right there with what's going on and who's going to tell who. I don't know. And spiritually that they can have each other, obviously, is way more important than the friends. But just this phase of life, they need each other bad.
Which is so sweet. That's right.
It has happened.
It has happened. And so then November, this past year, like a month ago, we came through to go to an Auburn game and we were like, hey, it's just as close to flying to Birmingham. So we made our landing stop Birmingham and Larson's like, hey, thanks. I'm going to spend the night with Dana. Out.
I said, don't get mad at me. We've already invited her. So if you wanted this sweet girl time in your schmoozy hotel, you're not going to get it because Larson's spent the night with us.
We're all yours.
You just love your senior Ella. Well, and huge props and thanks to you. You had Claire in Texas in July when we needed it most. And we were going through a tough time as a family and she needed to just break away. And y'all redeemed her last bit of summer and put her straight into the school year with a huge smile on her face. So it's
I can't believe I'm about to say this because it's horrible and I love kids with cancer, but I'm like, it was like Claire's Make-A-Wish. Like she wasn't even sick. And I'm like, you want a sweatshirt? You're getting a sweatshirt because her dad, and I've talked about this, Chris has been really, really sick for a long time. And I love you. Chris is like my brother. He's getting better. But I literally was like, this kid has been through so much. And I was like, Dana, don't be mad when she shows up. Because I was like, oh, you like that necklace? Sold. You like that sweatshirt? Bought.
It was like yes day, but yes weekend. I was like, by the way, you're back to earth. You're back home where mom says no. She's like, I'm going to go live with Courtney. Okay.
I know. I set people up to fail. I'm so sorry. Okay, friends, here's where we're going. We have a lot of random topics, including like perimenopause, do I shop at Chico's, blow up decor. But we eventually we're going to get to things we think you need to survive in 2025. I'm trying to get somebody on. If you've got a doctor that's willing to come on and talk about perimenopause, send them my way because I'm trying to find one of your friends. What is your friend that is so dang cute? I'm thinking. Anne? That was at Lighthouse? Nope, that's not her. Yes. Yeah. Ann Turner. She was like, I got an idea for your podcast, perimenopause. She was like, that's all we're talking about. And I'm like,
it's all we talk about Bible study. It's all we talk about in these hallways at church with other women. It's all we talk about.
Okay, so I know enough to be dangerous. I know that we're not in menopause yet. Right. I know that the previous years, they're like, hey, you could be in this little lane for 10 years. Like, how? What?
I had never heard of this until the Holderness family did a video on it. And I was like, what's perimenopause? And I promise this was not even a year ago. I never heard of it. And now I'm living it.
You're like, this makes perfect sense. Like I thought I was going crazy, but it turns out I'm in perimenopause. Well, I blame everything on it. You know how when your kids are bad, you're like, they're teething. I'm like, forget the fact I've had McDonald's and Chick-fil-A twice this week. Perimenopause.
I mean, perimenopause. Anxiety, I just lost it on you. Perimenopause. You don't blame it. Mm-hmm.
I saw one TikTok. God, I got to get off of that. That was like, you know, your wife's in perimenopause when she's like, I swear, if you scrape that bowl one more time with that spoon, I'm going to throw something at your face.
Or if you chew any louder. I'm just annoyed by everything. The chewing gets me. But
Ella, I think Ella there's a disease. I don't know the name of it, but there is an actual like diagnosis for people who can't handle chewing and mouth sounds. Ella.
Claire hates it too.
Like, and I have TMJ. So she looks at me with these eyes, like, I swear if you don't start chewing, I'm like, go to your room. I'm at the dinner table. Like.
Well, they're not in perimenopause, so they can't blame it on that. So they have something because Claire does it too. But I sweat like nobody's business and I don't sleep. There's my two biggest issues with it.
Okay. One friend of mine said she had one pore on her chest that would just like shoot like a fountain sweat.
Shoot out sweat?
Yes, just one overactive pore that was like a fountain of sweat.
Okay, that beats it. That beats anything I've heard. Gross.
So here's what I don't know. I don't know if I live in Texas. I don't know. And I keep joking, but I really have gained some weight. I'm like, I don't know if it's extra weight or I'm just hot. Like, you know what? But I think I'm in it for sure. Like, and this is like the like medical advice I would give you. And I don't. So check with your doctor, please.
Yeah.
Most mainstream doctors are going to say you're within range. And they're like, oh, you're within range. They test your blood work and they're like, you're within range. But if you go to like a female doctor or endocrinologist, they will hunt down and go, yeah, you're in range, but you're at the lowest possible point and your life would change if your progesterone went up. And so they look at all those 3 hormones, progesterone, testosterone, is that it? Estrogen. And so I really don't know, but I'm digging in. Then you're like, okay, so go to the doctor. They give me progesterone because they said I'm not ready for estrogen yet. I slept like a baby. But then I go back to the doctor who had sorry if you're listening. The one that prescribed me the Ozempic and was all about that. And I didn't want to see her anymore because I was embarrassed. So my progesterone ran out. And now I'm like up at 1:00 scrolling and wanting to text you.
I mean, well, we usually do. We usually do text around.
Do you put it on silence, by the way, so I can just?
Yeah, I do. You can just send me anytime. I hope you do too, because 2 a.m. the other night, I was like, "What am I going to do with myself? Figure something out." My whole Bible study group, everybody is going to different doctors to try to figure this out. So if anybody has a good cure, some good meds, some good
Somebody,
vitamins, some good supplements.
most doctors are like, no thanks, because they don't want to
Mhm.
give medical advice on a podcast. But I'm like, someone needs to help us understand this in layman's term and say, where do you start? It's so overwhelming to know what to take. Is it synthetic? Are we going to get breast cancer by taking hormones like
right.
HRT, all that
And some of us
stuff?
can't go to one more doctor. Just going to throw it out there. I can't do one more doctor right now. So I'm like,
No,
somebody
or
else
the out of
tell me what
pocket
to
that
do.
they're like, hey,
Yeah.
your blood work's $700 and then the visit's $400.
Yeah. Not doing it. Can't do it. So I just
No.
need somebody to give me some simple, here's your Amazon click. Here is what works, or here's
And
what could help.
I'll
And it can't
have you
hurt
know,
you.
I am the dream customer. If there's an ad that's like night sweats, flushes, want to lose 100 pounds and get glowy skin,
Buy
I'm
it.
like, add to cart.
Click.
I
Click.
mean, I literally should do a haul of all the things I've bought and tried once, and I don't make it past Tuesday, and then I'm complaining.
Well, then you don't need to be the influencer in that way, but you influence a lot of things, because I think I've bought a lot of things you've told me to buy.
But I need you to be honest with me as my friend and be like, hey, you influenced me and that actually stunk. So I need some feedback.
Okay,
on
but
that.
I think everything you've told me is pretty much money, because you've either not told me because you didn't get past day 2. You've waited a little while.
Yeah. I'm getting
So you're
mature.
for sure.
Look
Yeah,
at me.
you're growing up in your influencer world.
Hey, pat on the back, Court. Okay, you guys are going to love this. I have a really fun new podcast recommendation for you and your kids. Wild Interest is the new podcast created and hosted by children, exploring nature, science, current affairs, and fun facts and stories. Man, I wish I'd had this. The series celebrates our innate curiosity with childlike innocence that touches the heart and sparks the imagination. Parents, you're going to love Wild Interest because it's rooted in kindness, compassion, and curiosity. And kids, you're going to love Wild Interest because it's made by kids like you. Hear what it's like to track nature in the deep woods, or avoid being tracked on the internet, or why some sailors are living on a half-sunken ship in the middle of the South China Sea. It's wild. This podcast is a great way for kids to learn about the topics that interest them in a fun and relatable way. It's filled with engaging balance of education, exploration, and recurring segments like grandparent stories, favorite sound, jokes, riddles, and the occasional guest appearance by Bobby the Bigfoot. Wild Interest. Find it wherever you get your podcast. It's wild. Okay, another story. So I went to speak in, where was I? Memory loss, perimenopause. Can't think of what I'm saying.
Blame it.
Teething. So I went to New Braunfels and I was like, nothing fits. Literally nothing fits. There's 500, 600 women come to this event. And I was like, I just want to feel appropriate. I don't want to get up there and feel uncomfortable. Like I've tried to look but I wanted to be appropriate. So I stop at like a million stores. I had an outfit packed that I was like loosely okay with. I knew it would work, but I was like, I kind of want a fun, festive Christmassy shirt. So I go to like J. Crew. Apparently that's made for toddlers. Can't button the XL.
Doesn't come past the belly button.
No, can't button over that situation.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, there was not a bunch of stores in this little area. So I think I went to one more. And then I look at Chico's. I'm like, am I at this point? Like, no offense if you're shopping at Chico's, but I walked in, did like a lap and was like, these would definitely fit me, but I cannot put my body in most of this. And so I did a lap. The lady was disappointed. I was like, thanks for having me. Bye. But I'm like, where are we? How old are you, by the way? Are we the same age?
I'm 45. What about you?
Oh, I'm your
I had to
senior.
think for a second.
I'm your senior. I'm 48. So I'm close to 50.
We're
and
the
I'm like,
same age exactly. Okay, doesn't matter. We thought we were. Yeah.
So we're in that space where I'm like, I'm not a 20-year-old, but I'm not 60. But I'm all about like, I'll throw on a ballet flat and some stretchy pants tomorrow. Like what? I'm a little lost in the zone
of where we go.
That's right.
Well, I used to I would laugh I would only walk in Chico's with my mom.
Yeah.
Or I would say it's only for that age. We are at an in-between. I still love Loft. I will say I can still.
Solid.
Loft is a win for me.
Yeah. Well, you have to wear grown-up clothes. Like, for example, you're in an office at the church and you're grown up. I'm over here in a sweatshirt and pants. It's like I have a newborn. I can't.
If I was home, I would be in the exact thing.
Pajama pants
this is fake dress up. I'm in Target right now. That's fake dress up, right?
Hey, what do you love about your job? You're so good at it.
Oh, you're so sweet. I love so much about my job. And God saved me with this job. This job came to me when I was not expecting to get this job in children's ministry. Loved full-time ministry. Went out of it when I shouldn't have. and God brought it back. But I love everything. I think what I love the most is it never gets old at a kid's wonder of the gospel. And when they ask the Lord into their lives, I'm the first person they want to tell, and they'll tell their moms to call me. And there's nothing that is the sweetest moment in the world. And they'll say, we're so sorry to bug you, but they just want to come talk to you. But I'm like, I will say at work 10 hours late, I will get there on a Sunday morning, 2 hours early, if that is just to hear that. So that is definitely my favorite part of my job.
I got to see that in action last time we were at Lighthouse. We went with your church, and we came back, and Ella's like, number one, we're moving to Birmingham. Number two,
yes, you are.
I might go to Sanford. She did change her mind to Auburn, but I do think y'all have the most solid group of amazing people that I'm telling y'all, if I lived in Birmingham, Alabama, I'm like a pseudo member of Mountain Brook Community Church.
We have accepted you in. You are a member.
I love it. But I got to see all the kids like running for you, and I thought you were perfect for that. You were the patty cakes of 2024.
We had her here.
I can't believe it. Y'all remember patty cakes?
Recently, Miss Patty Cake. She was here like this summer for our.
How did that go over with the dads?
Oh, it was hilarious to watch the dads. We brought her up in church. She did a little, everybody put up your jazz hands. We were crying, laughing in the back. And she looked at our pastor and said, I don't see your hands.
Jazz hands.
It was hilarious. So the dads were really like, what is happening? And we were thinking, are the kids going to relate to this? They loved her. It was hilarious. Now we rock her again, but it was like we took a big old hiatus. Our kids were used to her, so they were nostalgic. When I told my kids, they laughed out loud. And I sure enough wore an apron to introduce her. Sure did.
Oh, my word. Can I get that picture? And did someone get a picture of Pastor and jazz hands?
Oh, probably. We'll find it.
Mr. Telfair, what's his first name?
Ben.
I can see Ben living for patty cakes.
Ben was all smiles and a little bit of nerves. We all were a little bit nervous when it went down in church. The announcement. We're a little bit, love my church, which we're a little more serious. So it was kind of like, woo! But you know what? You're so sweet to say, to go back to what you said. I love this church so much. I love our people so much. When I took this job, people said, you don't need to go on staff. It's going to change your whole opinion. I'm like, we're all sinners. So of course we're going to feel that way working in a church that, it's a church that should feel different from another job. We're sinners. We're going to mess up. We're going to disappoint. But I will honestly say, I love the people and our staff here more than I did even before now working under me.
That's so great.
So it is awesome. And it is the sweetest group of people. I love it. Love the kids so very much.
Think of an embarrassing story, because you and I embarrass our kids on the regular because our voices are loud. We say the thing. Mm-hmm. And then I think as soon as they act embarrassed, particularly our two, and I will have you know, if you got younger kids, there's a season they go through and it's just what they do. They're embarrassed of you to breathe, to look, to walk. I mean, it's just whatever. But Ella's on the other side, and she's not embarrassed. And she's like,
my hope. She's my hope.
Larson's teetering on, like, I can tell on her face, mostly embarrassed, but I know we're going to get over that in the next year or so. But
you watched Claire. We're not there.
We just said we should switch because Larson thinks you're the funniest thing ever, and Claire likes me, so we'll just switch.
Yeah, we'll switch. We'll do a switcheroo. It is, you know what? My number one for embarrassment, as you already said it, is how loud I am. Even you said it when we were at dinner, like, is she screaming?
Yeah,
I don't even know it. I was screaming, and I don't even know it.
Yeah.
My whole family will be like, dial it back.
It's joy.
Your laugh is so loud. Do you know? Is something wrong with your hearing?
My kids, like, like, you're not their mom, so we left that restaurant and they're like, she's hilarious. Like, they love it. But if it was me, they'd be like, literally stop talking. Literally,
you saw Claire's face at me, like, you really, really shut it.
Okay, think of an embarrassing story other than that lately, but I've got one. So. But back in the day, if they acted embarrassed, I'm like, oh, I will absolutely do the floss in this lunchroom right now. So, like, don't even stir the bear because you're just asking me to, like, ramp it up. And so lately, they're going to die. So lately, there's this little, I make a heart with my finger. Do they do that?
Yep, sure do.
And it's like so cringy and I can't do it right. And so now anytime I see their friends, I'm like holding the sign and they just die. Like, they're like, why is she doing that? But I know it bothers my kids and I know it makes the other ones laugh. So I'm like, bring it. Maybe we should bring the floss back, actually.
I think we should bring it back too. I embarrass mine all the time. Lately, the most embarrassing, I think I've told you, like, SOS, I still have Claire under my Instagram. And so I need to, like, let her be free at this point.
Wait, what do you mean? Her Instagram account is your name?
Well, I like when she started her account, it was like I told her it had to be on mine too. You know how you can put two
I
accounts?
got you. So you
So
can, when
like
you
she
log
has
in,
her
you're
own
either Claire or Dana.
it can toggle.
I
And
got you.
so if someone is like messaging or it pops up on your screen, and if your finger's in the wrong place, it will switch without you knowing.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
So I did it to you and a million other people. I've done it several times. I just start commenting like, "Oh, I got that sweater," or "That's the best thing I've ever seen," or
She's
"Ha
like,
ha
no.
ha ha." Claire did so. And I think one time I put something about her. The worst was I think I embarrassed her and said something under a guy's account that I did not mean to.
Yes.
But y'all talk about it was beyond embarrassment. Talk about mom. I mean, she just rode me on
They're
that
always
one.
afraid. I don't have that situation, but they're afraid I'm going to heart or like something that they're wanting me to see. Okay, last one, and then we're going to get into our survival guide. There was a choir show recently, and the teacher emailed and was like, "Hey, I know this is last minute. I'm so sorry, but we're trying to put together a little slideshow for the seniors." I'm like, "How sweet!" And if I don't respond in 30 seconds, you'll get it back in a year. Like it's top of mind or it's not happening. So I was like, I am on this. No senior year is going to take over my life. I am going to be the first to respond. So there's like 5 pictures. Send in one Christmas of them little, one Christmas of the family, their senior photo. So I was like, click, click, click. Found all my photos, sent, and the end. And I remember looking at the family one, going like, I mean, she's a teenager. I was like, she won't hate this, but I didn't zoom in. So here comes the performance, and they're like, seniors, please come up for the slideshow. I mean, the auditorium is full, and the size of that screen was like
huge.
Dallas
I saw the picture.
Cowboys
Huge.
event.
Mm-hmm.
So they start going through the music. Everybody's like, oh, and you can tell which kid is who. And you're like, this is really sweet. I'm not crying, but I'm like, this is really sweet. So they put the first one up of Ella. I'm like, good choice, Mom. Second one, I'm like, she's going to like that. Third one flashes up. Her eyes are closed.
It is the best thing I've ever seen. I immediately texted Robin and I said,
I saw
"You've
her
got
head
to
drop.
go look."
I saw her friend's shoulders shaking. I got more texts from people who are like, well done. I'm like, you know what? It's good for her. She's like perfect in every photo. She needs a little humble pie.
A little humbling.
We got to progress to something productive, but I feel like people are going to love this. One lady at my school this year, besides the choir concert bomb, this was really sweet. One of our teachers, hey, Kelly Johnson, came up and she said, I just have to say, I heard your voice and I know who you are. And I was like, hey, I totally knew who she is. She's adorable. And she said, I tell my family I'm going on a walk with Courtney. And so Kelly, if you're on a walk with Courtney and Dana, we're with you.
I love it. Oh, I'd love to meet you too. And listen, Ann Turner has said this a million times, and other people, how much fun you are to listen to, that everybody thinks you're their best friend. So what a compliment to you.
That's so
you go on a walk
sweet.
with Courtney. Like, does it get any better than people just feel like they're talking to you?
I love it.
You're awesome.
My voice I don't like listening to it, but okay. All right. So how do we survive in 2025? Okay. We got a lot of ideas, but Stitch Gun, I mean, I'm not paid by them. I'm living for it. So here's the thing though. This is my third one. I feel like they break easily, but when we've had it, I'm telling you, before a prom or homecoming, like it does literally one stitch, black or white. If you've got a bra situation, if you're like me and your button-up shirt is not handling itself well, you can button right, like stitch right there. And it is brilliant. So I need to hear feedback from y'all. Did you buy it? Did you like it? Have you tried it, Dana?
It's amazing. I've tried it. I bought it. It's amazing. I've only used it 3 times, so mine is not broken, but y'all that's like a must. You did this at Lighthouse and I was blown away. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, and if you are a little chesty and you have a shirt that like it kind of opens, it's like a hot glue gun or something. You just click it.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
You click it. It's so easy.
Think of what we would have done when the girls were little. Like Larson was such a person of, she still is, but like when she was little, if the bathing suit didn't hit her right, if it slipped at all, I'm like, I would have pulled those bathing suit straps together, just stitched that bad boy. It would have saved my life.
Because you don't have to just do it in the front. You can do it in the back.
Oh, you can stitch. Ella's got jeans that cuff up and they always roll down because they're perfect when you buy them in the store, and then they're a disaster. So now we can stitch the side of those and they stay up.
It's a must.
It's a must.
People,
okay.
I didn't know it was something I needed in my life.
Stitch gun. Okay, I one more and then I'm gonna let you go. Snacks. So I have learned, I'm not a cook, but teens come to my house and I keep a solid stash of pretzels, popcorn, candy, and it's just like ready to go. And so sometimes now that they're older, if they're having a bunch of people, I'm like, I'm the yes mom. So I'm like, go in and get whatever you want. But I'm telling you, they want food and they're hungry and they just want, and you can put out carrots and all. I do try to put fruit and vegetables, but snacks.
But keep fun snacks. If you're the teen house, you have to have fun snacks. Although we're still in the weird, like if there's boys and girls over, they won't eat yet in front of each other at all. I'm like, one mom said she wasn't allowed to come in my house because she had brownies she made. Her boys sitting in the car because she said they would not allow her to bring them in the house. I've never laughed so hard. Yeah.
Now, so we don't have co-ed parties quite yet. Not because we don't want to, just because that's not their friend group.
Well, it's a sweet group of friends. Really, they mostly all go to church together, but they still don't eat in front of each other. But when I have girls now, yeah.
Okay, so what do we need?
Popcorn, pretzels, all the things. I mean, right now, this season, you need hot chocolate. I think hot chocolate's such a fun little Starbucks cups, or get the fun throwaway disposable. Something about that just makes girls happy.
I agree. So what do you do? Like the old can of stuff, or how do you make your hot chocolate?
No, either the little packets or Trader Joe's, y'all. They have the spoon with the right amount of chocolate with marshmallows on top. It's so cute, and of course it's Trader Joe's, so they think it's amazing.
Are you putting water or hot chocolate or milk?
We use milk because it's better that way. But you really can only do the 8 ounces because if you do too much milk, you won't get all the chocolate. But it's perfect. So if you have a Trader Joe's, go get the spoons. That's right. Such a happy.
If you're coming into the end of the year, which we are at, and you're like, you know what, I really didn't do anything fun. I kind of blew it as a mom. Like some of those moments were like, you know what, everybody in the car, put on your pajamas, hot chocolate, go look at lights. And you won't believe
we do it all the time.
We do it all the time. And it will be in that
Even
moment
now.
where I'm like, I'm so stressed. I want to enjoy the holidays. Just throw them in the car.
Yeah. And it might be where the first few minutes, they're still like, what? Are you kidding? And then they love it. Then you come back and people are usually, and there might be some fighting even still in the car or telling you how tired they are, or we're too old, but they love it. They love it.
And they add, now the dog comes, now there's blankets involved. Like
we're all in pajamas. We're all, but the hot chocolate's a must. So if you have teens, telling you, get the spoons from Trader Joe's.
Okay, speak to me about the warming trays. I literally saw those advertised and was like, why didn't I buy that for my mom? Because she is the one that cooks in our family. Tell me.
My small group, we got off on topics because that's what we do. And we started talking about our favorite things to gift. And I was like, what is that? It is literally a warming mat is what it's called. And I will send you the Amazon link. You can put it on whatever. But it's a warming mat. And there's tons of them. But I'll send you the one that they sent me. Y'all, you can put pots and pans, the things you've already cooked, your trays have already been in the oven, and you turn it on the setting you want. And it keeps it warm on the countertop. So you don't have to keep shoving things in and out of the oven. This is not just Christmas or holidays. How many times are y'all like, great, now the rolls are like bricks because they're so cold. Or now the, hash brown casserole, whatever. Y'all, you put it on the warming tray and sit it on your counter. And
that's brilliant.
So it can be hot or just warm or just, it's brilliant. And it's large. So you can fit,
this is something that's not a need in my house because I don't cook, but my mom would love this. I'm totally sending her one of these.
She would love it, and I'm like you, Courtney. I really don't cook a ton, but it's a great thing to give people that do. But I'll tell you what you could use in your life if you don't have it. You have to have this. It's the warmer, same thing, but it's for your coffee and it's for candles. It's a coffee warmer, y'all. Somebody sent it to us when my husband had surgery this summer in Minnesota because I'm really the type to put my coffee in the microwave 15 times. Like I'll have it really 15 times in the microwave. You turn that warmer on, and anytime you're stepping away to do something, you put it on the warmer and your coffee never gets cold.
What?
And they're like $20. I'll send you the Amazon link. Also, you can put candles, like glasses of candles on them, and it smells your house up. It melts the wax and then it rehardens when you take your candle off.
What?
So same thing.
What's the difference between just lighting the candle?
If you want it to last longer, you're not burning the wick. You're melting the wax cord, and your whole house smells like the candle. So that is my must-have of 2024.
Okay, it's not too late. We can Amazon these bad boys and be like, Merry Christmas to me.
Yes, and I mean, I'm going to give to my team next week, so they won't know this by the time it's here, but they're each getting a cute little coffee mug with a coffee warmer for their gift from me because it's the greatest thing I've ever had. And y'all, you have to. It's coffee warmer / candle melter, just the wax. It makes it smell amazing, and then it hardens back up. But you can do it either one. Yeah.
Also, I want to say about your family, y'all are the smellingest, yummy family in my entire life. I'm like, do we smell like trash? Like you've got the diva wash. Like
it's Chris.
It's Chris. Chris, I love your love of smells.
He's a diva. But with headaches, he gets headaches like you. Wouldn't you think that would bother you?
Probably.
But somehow he doesn't care. And I'll be working out and people are like, you smell like sweaty flowers. I'm sure I do.
No,
I'm sure
and you smell, I ended up getting, when we were hanging out in Minnesota in the hospital, I ended up getting your cherry lotion from Target. What was that? What's that?
It was the EOS brand.
Yes.
Remember? Y'all, if you don't have that, that's another must have. It's a lotion. It's that EOS that's the good chapstick. It's in a pink bottle. I think it's cherry flavor. It's not overdone. It smells good.
I love that Chris is like into smells. It's the most hilarious thing.
So it's not me. And I'm like, quit buying the expensive laundry. A, we can't afford it. B, really? Don't buy
can't you put in like the regular detergent, like clear detergent and just add a splash?
Should, and just a capful, but he's an overdoer of everything. So he's like, so then my whole house out the fire, like the chimney, my whole neighborhood smells, Steva.
Yeah, we'll link to this detergent. I've spilled a full bottle of that before. That's $40 on the ground. It's like spilling breast milk. Forget about it.
But y'all can just do a capful with all. Okay, so go cheap and just do a capful. But it does smell amazing. But he's an overdoer, so we just.
Need parts now? O'ReillyAuto.com offers in-store pickup, same-day home delivery, or next-day home shipping. Get more parts your way at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Okay, I'm going to rapid fire through some of mine. You need posters. Like, I don't care how old your kids are. You need to buy like 55 posters and put them in a closet because nothing's, I've said this on a podcast before, but literally nothing's worse than like, I got a project due tomorrow. Posters in the closet. This is a lifesaver for the new year. Music changes my mood. The end.
100%. 100%.
Music. Turn everything off. Put some music on.
And it can be worship, or it could be Christmas, or it could just be your mood, but it changes your mood. Have music going. Yep.
Okay. Outdoor fridge. Now, this is a new one for us. Do you have an outdoor fridge?
We have a downstairs in the garage, in the basement fridge.
Okay. So it's taken us forever. But we've tried to buy the cheapest old school white one we could find from Lowe's, put it in the garage. And the kids are into all the drinks. I mean, flavored waters, Topo Chico, and a soda, and extra freezer space. Fridge.
Yeah.
And the kids now know, the teens are like, they go straight out there, they pick what they want to drink. And even just like you and I love a good iced coffee. Our kids love a good iced coffee. So
they love a fun drink.
Keeping that on hand.
Oh, and you can find them on trading. So if y'all don't want to go buy a brand new one, you can find those fridges on trading. Get one for your basement.
What do you mean, like Facebook?
There's it's the Facebook like marketplace trading. Like we have a neighborhood trading. Do y'all not have anything like that? Ours is called Vestavia Trading. Oh yeah.
What?
You don't have that?
I'm sure I do. I just know Facebook Marketplace. You buy stuff for $5 and risk your life.
So you do, but no, this is like community. So you know the people pretty much. Yeah, like somebody's getting something off my porch today. We sell them all the time.
This
so the
is
fridges
awesome.
from this. I'm dying at Texas. Y'all are always on top of this. So
okay, I'm sure we have it. Whoever's in my neighborhood, send me the trading site because I feel weird about selling stuff. I was like, here's this lampshade from.
No, this is people you know. It's like treasures you're passing.
Bring it on.
It on. So people will get refrigerators from that. And my sweet church actually gave me one when we were in Minnesota so that my mom could have all the extra meals in the fridge. And drinks. So what a gift. But it is a great thing to have, an extra one.
All right. Last one on my list of just practical things. And this is so obvious. But years ago, my friend said, put a trash can in the garage. And I was like, duh, like just right by the door. So my kids just have crud. And you'll get this when Wells and Claire are driving a lot. But they just go out to eat and there's trash. And so she said, my
car's like that.
It's like your car will not get dirty if you say, and I've really changed my life. And I'm a pretty messy girl. But I'll say before you get out of the car, grab 2 or 3 things. And they grab it and they throw it away right there. It's literally outside my car and as they're coming in. And it's really.
That is genius. Never heard of that.
So much.
Never heard of that. I'm doing it.
And, they have like 900 sodas or teas or whatever they drink and it's melting and Ron gets furious. But I'm like, I'd rather them throw it away and we deal with the leak versus
sit in your car.
Sit in your car. So
I have wrappers. I don't know about y'all where one of my little ones sits. She knows who she is. It's in the door handle. There's just things smushed and all. I'm like, take it and throw it. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to put it.
But they'll also throw in an earring and you're like,
and a Kendra Scott necklace will be wrapped up in that Built Bar wrapper. Yeah. Because that's where it goes.
I love children. All right. Before we get serious and we're going to wrap this thing up, do you have any more practical ones on your list we need for 2025?
Okay. This is like cleaner, but it gets everything out. If y'all don't know about it, I'm new to this. This is probably so old news. The Dawn Power Wash spray that's for dishes. It's called Dawn Power Wash. Where do you use it? Everywhere. Any clothes, on the couch, on the carpet, it gets any stain out. Shoes, white shoes that you need clean, tennis shoes of your kids because they just get grimy, but they're not old. Dawn Power Wash spray. Any stain. and it does not leave marks. So you guys, fabrics, carpets. I mean, I don't want to say that and then you ruin something, but for us, Dawn
I
Power
will
Wash
try
works.
it. I will be the guinea pig. Let me ask you this. Say some really cute dog named Maisie barfed on my white couches twice. There's still like a
Oh,
ring of where we tried to clean it. So you
try
think
it.
if I
Try
go back,
Dawn Power Wash.
all right,
Try it.
guys, I'm going to do it for us.
Try it. And then you tell me later.
Yeah. I keep wanting to buy new couches and Ron's like, no, like
You know, we went leather for that reason.
you
Because of our
did.
dog. We had to go leather because you can wipe it out. We had to get rid of the fabric. Couldn't do it
Jeez.
anymore. Had to do it.
Okay. Serious ones as we round out. I want to go beyond 15 minutes just to tell Robin we beat her. It's like,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, don't worry. I think we've done it. We're close.
We're close. Okay. But what really has helped me, and these are obvious statements, but Jesus, duh, that's all we talk about on here.
Yeah.
But like, I think you and I have had some really serious talks about life and disappointments and hurts. And
Oh, gosh.
like, I don't know what we would do if we didn't have that to point each other back to be like, because our kids are hurting. You guys have been through so much. There's things
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
fix for my kids. And I'm like, what do you do if you don't put your hope in Jesus? I don't know what I would do.
I do not know, and we say it all the time, and I do not know where I would be. I do not know where my kids would be. I do not know, Chris. I mean, I do not know where we'd be because we have had to find treasures in the dark for a very long time. I'm
Yeah.
quoting Catherine Wolfe because she's like my hero in all of this. If you don't know her, go find
Yeah.
her. It's Jesus because there are treasures in the dark. There are joys in the hard days, and joy and grief coexist.
It's crazy. Oh, you've helped me so much with all of that. Okay. So another one that I really want to share with people is just margin. And I know you're like, yeah, right. But there was a season where I was driving down the road and I was so booked and trying to do all the
Mhm.
things back to back
Yep.
to back that I was shaking and I didn't know where
Yep.
I was going. And I was like,
Yep.
this is not good. If my body is shaking and I can't remember which kid to get, there's too much. And so everybody's got different capacity, but I want to be like major permission and y'all have a different conversation going into the new year instead of saying like, what are the things we're going to do? And I probably stress y'all out with all the things to do in Christian parenting, but it's like, what can you quit? Even for a season to be like, I
Oh.
love this. Like even having hard conversations, we're going to talk about this in January, but even the sports to be like, we are not at a place where our family can do travel ball. Like it's
Oh.
making us all miserable. We don't have relationship. We don't go to church. So I say time and margin are a game changer. Game changer.
It's 100% must. And I try to tell the parents all the time, I couldn't have had my job 10 years ago because I was living in that busy, rushed, hurried. And I think everything with Chris and his medical stuff made me slow down. But this job, I can now tell the parents, like, it is so fun to have my kids at dinner almost every night at the table.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to not have that soon. Y'all, you have to have margin. You have to have space. And the kids, when they're crazy, acting up, discipline is out the yin yang, look and see, do they have any downtime?
Yeah.
Do they have any time to breathe? Like, we set the pace, right?
Yeah.
So we have to teach ourselves first to have margin. And I love, you're such a good example of that. You took a break when you needed it.
Yeah.
You took a break for a little while. And
It was supposed to be 6 months and it was 3 years. I was like, well,
but
that
you
went
know
fast.
what?
It was great.
I think I go back to everybody, and I don't even know if I've ever told you this. Like, you were probably the seal the deal on me taking this job. I already knew I wanted to take it, and I was wrestling, and I remember I called you, and you just had all the right words. But it was like, are you in a season where you feel like you really can do this, but you're going to have to really watch it because the time in the church you can give it your all. And I always go back to our conversation of I leave when I need to leave. I turn it off when I need to turn it off. My family has to come first, but
because there's always something to do. You could stay at the church
Always.
for 3 years and never leave and
Always.
still be working. Yeah.
Anybody in your job or with your kids or do it, but y'all, we've got to have a stopping point. There's got to be margin.
I heard a podcast this week that I think I sent around, and I'll try to link to it too. And I'm trying to get them on, but the guy said, let me think of his quote. He said, we're raising a generation of kids that only see the back of their parents' phones.
I
mean,
and I'm guilty.
I am so guilty. And I thought that Larson's love language is attention and eye contact and all that. And I was like,
quality time.
Because you could say, well, I'm on my phone for work. And Ron's actually better about this than all of us. And he's got a 24/7 job. But I think that's another thing I'm going to work on this year, just to be like, am I getting eye contact? They're only home. My kids are home from like 4 and they're early birds. They go to bed like at 9 or 10. So I'm like, I've literally got a window where I can put the dang phone down.
And we've got to. And if we're not doing it, why do we expect them to do it? And if y'all have little ones, if you don't think that they're going to watching you now, that when they're teens and they get a phone, what they're going to do. I mean, I'm guilty. I am saying this, guilty as can be. That's going to be my goal too, is limited. Like put my own time, like I do on the kids, put my own time on there.
Yeah.
Time limit
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something. Something's got to give.
Yes.
The posts are
yes.
too busy. It's all too busy. That's
Yeah.
the only reason I didn't jump on TikTok. I was like, I don't need one
No,
more
don't do
thing.
it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
And I won't let Claire, because I'm like, you don't need one more thing.
No, don't do it. Okay, what was I going to say about that time? So this is a kicker. Ella's 18. So you know who can set her own, who can't set hers?
Oh, because she's
18. So now it's on her.
Gosh,
And I'm
that's
like
right.
backing up going, well, crap. Like for years, y'all know me, I'm ADHD. I start stuff, stop. So I'm like, for years, I'm like, okay, we're putting this limit on all social media. And then they talk
Right.
me out of it. They have a reason why they
know,
need it. And then I
same.
forget
I
to,
know.
it's like 9 months later and I forgot to set
Yeah.
the thing. So now you're
I
like
know.
launching a kid going, now it's on you. Like now it's
You've
on
got
you
to have your own margins. Yeah.
Yeah. Because nobody's going to have, unless you're Larson DeFeo, nobody has natural discipline just to put the phone down. You have to have
She does, actually. It's
I don't know.
amazing to me.
I don't
She
know where
does.
she came from.
And Wells does too. And it's funny. He's the oldest. She's your youngest. But yeah.
They're strange. They're like a different breed. Okay, last one, and I think you can end here, is community. So I think it is just, I don't know that I would be surviving motherhood life if I did not have a community of people like you. Like, and I have some locally, I have my church, which is where I would say start. Even if you've had a bad experience, keep hunting. But I've found my mom friends over the year, and you were one this past year that's just been like, I can say anything. I can go to you. We pray for each other. Like the prayer that you sent for Ella on her birthday, I just weeped because I'm like, this is the stuff you pray for, is that you have a friend that really sees your kids, that is there for them, that believes the best in them, and that you can say stuff to Ella as she's about to launch. It gives me chills that I can't say, and she believes you. And so community is everything. And if you find a Dana Sheheane, just grab on.
Y'all
tight.
or Courtney, as all of you feel like she's your best friend anyway, because she is. Yes, you grab her tight. I thought she was going to think I was such a weirdo that first year at Lighthouse because I already loved her. But I mean, I did. I just loved you to pieces immediately. But that's, y'all, you have to have community. Our village in this hard season of ours, we would not have survived it. You, number one, Courtney. And y'all, I'm going to tell you, Courtney showed up in the hospital when I needed somebody the most. And I kept telling everybody, no, I don't need anybody fly out here. I don't need anybody. She's like, well, I'm just coming. And it was the sweetest 24 hours. And there were two people from the church that came right behind her. Y'all wouldn't have survived that. I don't think how badly I needed community. You need people, and you need people you can laugh with. Yeah. We laughed in the midst of really hard. You shot Chris's oxygen level way up his nose.
Made him hurt because we were laughing so hard. He's like, thanks for coming.
Can y'all exit, please? No. That's when he said he felt like his sister. And he said, I've never been happier in those moments to watch you laugh. But y'all, community is so important. I do love your Ella like she's mine. And you love Claire and Larson like she's mine. You love Claire like she's yours.
And Wells.
Find those people and Wells. We're not leaving Wells. Yeah, find the people that not only you love, but love your kids that much that they can go to them if they don't want to go to you. But we would not survive without community. Don't let church hurt or people hurt. Yeah. We're sinners and we're going to hurt each other. There is nothing we need more than people. I feel like, especially right now, you need people you know love you no matter what.
Well, and I love that you said that you felt dumb, because it's like, if you go into a conversation, and if I was like, hey, Dana, I really need a friend, and I like launched into what I needed, you would have been like, clinger. But it was natural. It was like, we met and then we spent time again together and we realized how similar we were. And it's almost like dating. You're like, just have the uncomfortable, like, hey, I was thinking about you today. Like, and we've over time, and I also want to say to you, like, you're a super low maintenance friend. Like, I know in the bottom of my heart, if we went 6 months, we never would. But if we went weeks, there would never be like why didn't you call me?
We would pick right back up.
We would pick right back up. And so I think as we age, one beauty thing of perimenopause is that we're more settled. We're like, I don't need to prove to Dana that I love her. Like, we know it.
No,
and
we
like,
know it. Yeah. And if you think of me or I think of you, and for anybody else, don't care about feeling dumb or looking dumb. If you just send a text that says, love you, mean it. I know we haven't talked to him forever. If they're on your heart, just tell them. Mm-hmm. I mean, we can go all those months and pick right back up. But I also think when people put people in your heart, don't be afraid to be like, hey, I know we hadn't talked forever. I just love you. Just wanted you to know. Or I'm praying for you. Or I've had different people say, thanks so much for just texting that. I needed that today. Whereas maybe 10 years ago, I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Talk to the introverted mom that's like, great for y'all. Y'all are social. That like maybe say they came into your church and they didn't know anybody. I think you're the queen connector. That's one of the things I was going to suggest, but I want to hear what you say. To like, just tell somebody. Like if an introverted mom came up to you and said, hey, we're new. we really don't
Right.
know anybody. My kid is this or that. And you would go, oh, you need to meet so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. So what does that introverted mom do that's like, this must be nice? Like, I don't have.
And I've had people say that, like, I don't know how you do this. I'd be in a ball in a corner, like rocking. And I can't understand that because I'm like an 11 out of 10 on the extrovert scale. But what I can say is you too need people. And my son is the biggest introvert on the planet. So I tell him, well, as you may think you need to tuck away in your room, you need people. So those people that come in my church like that, I quickly try to find that person that maybe isn't a me or a you that's going to overwhelm them and scare them. But I will quickly, this Sunday, it actually happened. I walked this family. I just left kids ministry for a second, had somebody take over, walked this new family up to this room that I knew that Sunday school would fit them because it's a little more calm. It's not so much of me's. You know, we have different personalities. And I found this one girl and I was like, I hope that you're okay with this, but I'm going to need you to sit with her today, talk to her, introduce yourself. And it was so cool. After church, she texted me how much they clicked. And I said, here's her number. She left their card. And I told the person, you don't have to answer if you don't want, if this is too much. But I just feel like the extroverts need to help connect the introverts too. And even if you're like, that makes me sweat to go to a Sunday school class when I don't know anyone, push yourself to go and have somebody help you make that connection. But it's such a need, even if you don't think you need it. You need it and let somebody help you.
Yeah. One of the things God just plopped, whenever I speak, I have an outline and I'm, ADD and squirrel nation. So I'll go all over the place. But this was something that just came like zoom. I was like, whoa, I've never had this thought before. It was clearly from him. But I just said, God, your friends cannot read your mind, but God can. And so I think what we assume is that people know and read our minds. And you'll like if you said, hey, Claire's struggling, thank you for telling me because we know enter in, lean in. And God can still do it. He could still bring you a friend today and sit by the coffee shop and make that happen. You're like, oh my gosh, only God knew that I was struggling. And here's this person. And he brought us together. But I do think being courageous enough to tell someone, hey, we're really lonely in this season. And then that just helps it speed up, I think. It's like, don't stay inside or don't.
Oh, don't
know,
do it.
right?
I tell Wells that don't do it. I know that we don't understand it. And you're thinking, you don't know what that feels like. But we know what anxiety in other ways feels like. And sometimes when you face that fear, my counselors told me a million times, you can't flee. You can't do that. You got to fight it, fight or flight. So even be courageous and talk to that person, send that text, tell somebody, anybody, hey, we need some help. We're struggling. Our kids are struggling. We all need people so bad right now. We just do. This
is so fun.
And I'm so thankful. I love you, Courtney. I love you so much.
I love that we just pressed record, and this is only a shred of what we would normally talk about in a day. We're like,
we
bounce.
We are squirrels. When y'all came last week, I was like, did we finish one conversation? I don't think so.
No, we sure didn't. Okay, if you're in Birmingham, Mountain Brook Community Church, I'm not getting paid royalties on this, folks, but these are legit, real deal, amazing people. And I love you guys, and I love you.
I love you so much. And y'all keep listening to Courtney. She's the greatest thing in the whole world. Keep listening to your best friend. Go on walks with her.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Pardon the Mess. As always, we've got more encouragement and resources over at christianparenting.org. And you can also stay connected with us on social media at Pardon the Mess. And if you like this episode, I'd love for you to do two things. Press follow on whatever podcast platform you love, and also be sure to leave a rating so other parents can find us. Remember, you're never alone in this beautiful mess of parenting.
In DC, it's not always easy to save. But with unlimited welcome from Verizon, saving on your phone bill's never been easier, even if you're on a single line. For a limited time, single lines start at just $50 a month when you bring your own phone, with autopay plus taxes and fees. That's a savings of $15 a month. And when you switch now, you can save on the things you love, like Netflix and Max, all on the most awarded 5G network. Now that's savings all of DC can agree on. There's never been a better time to switch to the network America relies on. But this offer won't last long. Visit your local Verizon store to switch and save big today. $180 BYOD promo credit and $360 local promo credit applied over 36 months. For new customers with one new line with your own 4G or 5G phone on unlimited welcome plan required. Additional terms apply. Autopay and paper-free billing required. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. $10 a month for each MyPlan perk. Additional terms and conditions apply per perk.